Good morning, everyone. I'm Katie Nolan with your top headlines for Friday, July 13th. Today we check in with news for bitches and read a few misleading headlines. It's Friday the 13th, so things are going to get a little freaky. Let's get right into it on your Guyism Speed Round. Don't forget about the contest over at Guyism with Jack Threads. I'm going to throw that link down in the description again. If you didn't check it out yesterday, be sure to check it out today. Click that link down there and you could win a free outfit from Jack Threads. Imagine having a friend who just has all of the information in the world about what's cool to wear for clothes and that person picking an outfit out for you. It's essentially what's happening here. A man in central Nebraska has been thrown in jail for writing a bomb threat on the bottom of his job application. He wrote, "If you be quiet and help me, you won't die." He later told cops he uses methamphetamines and went into the restaurant looking for a way to fulfill his sexual fantasies. Was it a TGI Fridays? Because if so, he totally nailed that first interview. Definitely has a job waiting for him when he gets out. The much-anticipated Freeh Report on the Penn State scandal came out yesterday and proved that the school repeatedly concealed and changed facts to avoid bad publicity and showed no concern for any of the victims. Which leads me to today's special segment, Misleading Headlines. Probe slams Penn State, Paterno. If only that were true, then maybe justice would actually be served. Kitten pushes tiny orphan in a trolley after its mother was killed crossing a road. This sounds amazing, but it's not, in fact, a story of a cat pushing around a small child with no parents after its mother got hit by a car. It's strictly about cats. Cop who kicked cuffed woman in the face fights for job. Not fighting like a death match kind of thing, though I'm sure he'd be more likely to win if that was the case. And this is just a friendly reminder that family, gripped, and sausages probably shouldn't hang out together in the same headline. Speaking of Penn State, Joe Paterno's name has been removed from the Joe Paterno Child Development Center at Nike headquarters. It was either that or change the company slogan to "Just do it, and I won't tell anyone." A South Carolina funeral home has added an on-site Starbucks. I know I'm a zombie before I get my coffee in the morning, so this should create some pretty interesting situations. Twin baby pandas were born at the China Conservation and Research Center for the giant panda, and they're not giant at all. They're tiny and adorable. It's kind of tough to look at them and think they could grow up to kill you. Just like the cute little kids in gangs. Michael Parr and Nathan Mann have been sentenced to life in prison after they disemboweled a pedophile in jail last October. Can we be sure that they're sentenced to life in prison at the prison Sandusky's at? No particular reason, just a thought. News for bitches. Yves Saint Laurent has launched a new eyeshadow palette inspired by the trademark Facebook Blue as a declaration of love for its fans. And just like Facebook, blue eyeshadow usually makes you look like a whore. Since research has long shown that focus groups try to please the people testing them and can't be trusted to give honest feedback, some companies have started employing high-tech retina trackers to obtain raw data of what actually gets our attention in terms of packaging and placement of products. So whereas you might say you like this Axe bottle as opposed to this Axe bottle, your eyes tell researchers that you actually like the woman running the focus group's tits. A disgusting smell on a U.S. Airways flight from North Carolina to Rome on Tuesday made passengers sick and forced the crew to make an emergency landing in Philly. Then, when everyone got off and smelled that shithole of a city, people were begging to get back on board. Geoff Ragsdale, a stand-up comedian and actor in New York, recently posted his number on flyers throughout the city after a breakup made him feel like the loneliest man in the world, even though he was surrounded by tons of people, and 70,000 people actually responded. It's a cool story. Just please tell me this isn't the intro for another Call Me Maybe video. First things first, I am naming the fan of the century. I know that's going to catch you a little off guard because I didn't tell you I was doing that. I didn't know I was doing that until I received an email from Scott Taylor. Scott sent me this email about a week ago, but unfortunately it went into my spam folder, but he resent it this week, and I realized he sent me a housewarming gift, which is unbelievable. And when I went to acknowledge you, I was like, I can't say that because people are going to be like, oh, she's only going to like us if we send her gift cards. And that's not true. I just needed to make it clear that that's the nicest thing that anyone I've never met has ever done for me before. Even nicer than a lot of the things people I have met have done for me before. So Scott, you and all your friends and everyone you know and love, hello and thank you, and you all fucking rule. Which brings me to my next email from Paul Lima. Paul writes his biggest first date turnoff, which I'm just going to skip over because that's done now. But then Paul goes on to say that he wants to ask if I have another camera because while the editing is great, I should be a lot bigger on YouTube. I know, bro. But it might help if I have another camera to work another angle so I can change it up a lot. And I want to first of all say thank you for sending your advice seriously, because as long as your criticism is constructive, people, I do actually read it and take it into account, as long as it's not just talking about different parts of my anatomy. A second camera is something I would absolutely love to have, but to be completely honest with all of you, this whole moving situation, there's a whole backstory you don't know much about, which basically ends with the fact that I'm broke. So thank you for your feedback, and I will definitely be looking into it or trying my best to make it work. I know these things aren't perfect, guys, but I really do work really hard on them every day. I'm probably going to be messing around with the format a little bit soon. I'm not quite sure how, because I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, but I've wung it so far from day one, so I figure we'll just keep going. If you have anything constructive to add that would help the speed round, feel free to email me at katie@guyism.com, and otherwise, shut your mouth. Oh, and lastly, Brian Hatch, the chief of the Beaverbrook Volunteer Fire Department in Danbury, Connecticut, let me know that the firehouse is celebrating 100 years of dedicated service this year, so I want to give those boys and girls a shout out. Thank you for watching, if you all are, and if not, then still thank you for everything you do, but specific thank you to Brian, because he's cool and he watches the speed round. But that's going to do it for your speed round, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button, comment down below, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. And if you haven't laughed yet, there'll be a link in the description to a video that will make you do so. Enjoy your weekends and your Friday the 13th, and I'll see you right back here on Monday with more headlines that you need to know. Hear my voice crack? Oof. Get excited, guys! Channing Tatum has confirmed that Magic Mike will have a sequel, and he's working on the concept right now. Given the complexity of the first film, we should have a sequel by next Wednesday.